In late February 2026, the Middle East entered one of its most dangerous military crises in decades. The conflict between Iran, the United States, and Israel rapidly escalated from long-standing political tensions into direct military confrontation. For many years, Iran and Israel had been bitter rivals. Israel repeatedly warned that Iran's nuclear program and growing missile capabilities posed a serious threat to its national security. At the same time, Iran accused Israel and the United States of attempting to weaken its government and influence in the region. Tensions had been building for years, but everything changed on February 28, 2026, when a coordinated military operation began. The attack was reportedly called Operation Lion's Roar. It involved large-scale air and missile strikes carried out by Israeli forces with support from the United States. The goal of the operation was to damage Iran's military infrastructure, missile programs, and nuclear facilities. In .wikipedia.org. Within the first hours of the operation, dozens of strategic targets across Iran were struck. These included military bases, air defense systems, missile launch sites, and command centers located in cities such as Tehran, Isfahan, Qom, and Kermanshah. Advanced weapons were used in the attack, including stealth bombers, cruise missiles, and fighter jets launched from aircraft carriers and submarines in the Persian Gulf. DiplomaticInside.com. The strikes were massive. Reports suggested that more than 1,000 targets were hit during the initial wave of attacks, making it one of the largest coordinated air campaigns in modern Middle Eastern history. Diplomatic Insider. The United States and Israel stated that the purpose of the strikes was to destroy Iran's missile capabilities and prevent what they believed was the development of nuclear weapons. Iran strongly denied those claims and called the attacks an act of war. Within hours, Iran launched a powerful retaliation. Ballistic missiles and drones were fired toward Israel and U.S. military bases across the Middle East. Several missiles reached Israeli territory, including areas near Tel Aviv and other densely populated cities. Some attacks caused damage to residential buildings and civilian infrastructure. escalated.com. Iran also targeted military installations used by the United States in Gulf countries. Air defense systems in several nations attempted to intercept incoming missiles, but the attacks created panic and uncertainty across the region. As the conflict continued, the scale of destruction grew rapidly. Within the first 9 days of fighting, hundreds of strikes had taken place across Iran, targeting missile facilities, airfields, naval bases, and underground weapons storage sites. Major Iranian naval assets were also damaged or destroyed in attacks in the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz. Diplomatic Insider. At the same time, Iran continued launching waves of missiles and drones against Israel. These attacks were designed not only to damage military targets, but also to create psychological pressure on Israeli society. Escalated. The human cost of the war quickly became severe. Reports indicated that more than 1,200 people were killed in Iran and thousands injured during the early stages of the conflict, including civilians, healthcare workers, and children. AlJazeera.com. In Israel, missile strikes also caused casualties and widespread damage. Beyond the battlefield, the war began affecting the entire global economy. Oil prices surged dramatically as fears spread that the conflict might disrupt supplies from the Persian Gulf. Analysts warned that if key oil infrastructure were attacked, global markets could face a severe energy shock. Reuters.com. Air travel across the Middle East was disrupted, and many international flights were canceled or rerouted. Governments around the world urged both sides to avoid further escalation. However, the conflict continued to expand. Missile attacks spread to other parts of the region, including Gulf states that host U.S. military bases. Some of these countries intercepted dozens of missiles and drones aimed at their territory. Wikipedia. Meanwhile, cyber warfare also became part of the conflict. Both sides attempted to disrupt each other's digital infrastructure, communications networks, and military systems. The international community became increasingly concerned that the war could grow into a much larger regional conflict involving additional countries. The United Nations Security Council held emergency meetings, while world leaders called for an immediate ceasefire and diplomatic negotiations. Despite these calls, military operations continued through early March 2026. The conflict highlighted several major realities about modern warfare. First, it showed how quickly tensions between rival powers can escalate into direct military conflict. Second, it demonstrated the growing role of advanced technology, including drones, cyber warfare, and precision missiles, in shaping modern battles. Finally, it revealed how conflicts in the Middle East can affect the entire world, from energy markets to global security. As of March 2026, the situation remained highly unstable. While both sides continued to claim military successes, the long-term outcome of the conflict was still uncertain. What began as a strategic strike quickly evolved into a dangerous regional confrontation, one that could reshape the balance of power in the Middle East for years to come.